Grab your favorite cup, roll a blunt, slide into a nice warm tub, whatever you need to do to get ready for the new tea.
Our goal is to uplift, upgrade, and update you on what is happening in the world from a culturally conscious gaze.
Of course, we'll throw in some off-color topics to make our subjects more palpable.
Welcome to Urban Proper.
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
It is I, Shisha the Cuddler, a.k.a. self-proclaimed queen of everything the light touches.
And it be me, Darius, the Destroyer, self-proclaimed destroyer of all things, including, but not limited to,
Booty hole. That was just one thing we randomly said one time, and we've just been running with it.
You know, I feel like that is a great marker of our friendship.
The random shit Shisha and Darius says to each other.
You know what? That could have been a podcast in and of itself.
Yeah.
Just us sitting back, like, randomly making
freestyle
weird
phrases.
Shit.
Like,
yes. But we're back today to talk about some things.
Yeah.
But we are talking about generational curses.
Ooh.
And how we can combat them as the next generation reaching in adulthood, and like where the last generation left us. Okay.
Listen.
So where do I even begin with this? Let's break down a generational curse, because a lot of people, if you grew up in the church, you know what a generational curse is, and a lot of religious people define a generational curse as something that has passed down through the family. It could be something like alcoholism or drug use, or if you're in the wrong kind of church, homosexuality, or, you know, things of that nature. But their generational curses run a lot deeper than just alcoholism and drug use.
Yeah, and a lot of people consider a generational curse, excuse me, I can't talk, as always, as a financial thing, a financial illiteracy, not being able to get over the hump of living paycheck to paycheck. So it's a multifaceted thing, but it's not just that either. Like, generational curses is not being able to set boundaries in your family, as well as just.
I would like to throw family secrets into generational curses as well. Because there are certain family secrets that should not be secrets. There are things and I mean, like, not even outside the family. I mean, inside the family, things that you just like kind of sweep under the rug because, we don't talk about that because we don't want to, you know.
What goes in my house, stay in my house.
That is a generational curse, in my personal opinion. In certain aspects, like, if somebody is abusing another person in the family, there is no reason that the family shouldn't be talking about it. Like, that's something that we need to address. We need to nip it in the motherfucking bud, and we need to carry on as a family. But instead, a lot of times, shit just gets, like I said, swept under the rug. I think that is a generational curse. I think that's something that Black people were taught to do because we had to be strong and stay strong. And
when we say, and I think a lot of people kind of like grit or like cringe when we say Black people, but we're speaking from our experience. And yes. We have been nothing other than Black people.
Black, my whole damn life.
So, I mean, it might have happened in different other ethnicities, but we're speaking from our Black experience.
Yeah.
And I just like to remind people of that.
And I'm glad you said that, because we talk about how Black this podcast is, because it is a Black podcast.
Yes.
That is what it is at its heart, its core, and its center. But everybody can listen. Everybody can and should listen to this to understand things better from the Black perspective.
And understand that our ideas, our personalities is not a cookie cutter of how other Black people are. Black people are multifaceted. We come from a wide spectrum of skin color, of mannerisms.
Just between the two of us. I was just commenting on how I have reached winter skin. My summer tan is gone. I'm real light skinned right now. Like, still Black.
Get into something a little bit. And I'm chocolatey, and I love when I go to my summer tan. I love coming back from a vacation post COVID, black as hell. I love it. Like people like, oh my God, I don't want to be in the sun. I'm gonna get too dark. I love my black.
I love it. Okay? I love when I tan too.
Yes, get a little crispy.
A little crispy, a little extra, you know. I remember my first summer at the Boathouse. Okay. Listen, so we used to work at a restaurant, an outdoor restaurant. Yes, ADD moment for real.
That's where we met.
That's where we met.
That is the origin of our friendship.
Yes, it has stood the test of time.
Oh, shit, 10 years?
Yeah.
11
years. Well, no.
No. I worked there before, a couple years before you.
Yeah. It will be 10 years next year.
Because I was 21.
Yeah.
And you were 19?
I was 19. I was a little bitty baby.
That was
but
pain and knee pain.
Listen, don't even talk about the pain.
Oh,
did I take my Tylenol? But so my first summer working at the Boathouse, of course, it's an outdoor restaurant, and I remember my best friend's mom picked us up from somewhere, and she looked at me in the back seat, and then she turned and looked again, and she was like, "Damn." She was like, "You done got chocolate." I was like, well, I work at an outdoor restaurant. So my skin had never, I had never tanned that dark. And I was like, damn, I look good.
Speaking of, and it's just, I don't know why the light bulb just went off so late. That's another generational curse. Colorism.
Yes.
Colorism and light skin versus dark skin is something that has been embedded in our culture. It's such a cancer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's an excellent way to explain that. God.
It's a cancer that it's hard to root out. We need some chemotherapy on this hoe.
We really do.
Some herbal therapy. We need some shamans, or orishas, and we need all. We need the
brujas to come in. Come on,
all that. We need to get it out, because at the end of the day, we are all black people.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you light as snow or dark as night.
You still black, boo.
You still black.
And as a light-skinned person, as somebody who kind of sits really in the middle, I'm not like super, super light-skinned, but I'm not dark-skinned by any means. I look at both sides and I'm like, okay, I can swing either way.
Yeah.
Like, there's no difference to me. Just because your skin is darker and your skin is lighter, everybody has good skin. Yeah. Everybody should be washing their damn face and moisturizing. So
you wash your damn face and your motherfucking hands.
And your motherfucking hands. If you're not washing your face if you're not washing your hands and then you're touching your face, that's why you got acne.
That's why you got acne.
Not because.
And you know what? I'm a testament to that, because I touch my face a lot.
Me too.
And I have immaculate skin.
Same.
But I wash my motherfucking hands and I wash my motherfucking face nasty.
Every day. Every single motherfucking.
Looking at the camera.
Every single motherfucking day.
We decided to do a little segment of us, a video of us recording this week. So
yeah, because we want y'all to see our faces more. We feel like y'all are scared of us.
I'm too fine to be paused on the FaceTime.
And listen, the camera is covering up my sweater, but it says "Be gay and do crime," and that's
gay and do crime, bitch.
That's my whole life. But don't do the crime of not taking care of your skin.
Don't do the crime of not washing your nasty ass hands.
Yes. Don't do the crime of not wearing a mask when you are in a group of 10 or more people or less.
6 foot. Back the fuck
6
up.
feet. Damn. We done got all the way off the topic.
All the way. But that's just us. Generational curses.
Yes. Okay. I was like, what the fuck we talking about?
We talked about wealth. We talked about alcoholism. We talked about colorism. We talked about
So let's get a little deeper into that though, because like, how do we go about breaking as millennials, as people who are nearing 30 or in our 30s, or those adults that should be quote adults by now? How do we go about breaking the curses of our forefathers and mothers? How do we do that?
There's a lot of habits that have been passed on generationally that we need to break. And I think millennials are doing a great job, and Gen Z is doing a great job of breaking those too. Like we're split into 2 different groups.
Yeah.
We have the older generation, which starts in 1980. And I think it's
1983.
83.
It's like 83 to 93, and then 93 to 2003.
I've seen so many different ones, like breakdowns of it. But we're composed of two different generations. And the older part of the millennials, which I fall into because I was born in 90, we've had a struggle. We've kind of paved the way and kind of nicked the way at it a lot. I'm going to say, just from my personal experience of the generational curses that I have noticed in my family, and being more aware and educating yourself about the world around you and not just the little pocket that you're in.
Yes.
And I think that's where it starts, is educating yourself and then educating those around you. And doing it in a loving way.
Yes.
Not in a, bitch, you dumb, you don't know this, and I would talk down to you. But by, okay, I climbed the ladder a little bit, I got to the next level, let me send the ladder back down.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
I preach it all the time.
Yeah. And a lot of it has to, if we're going to break generational curses, we talk about stuff that is passed down through our families. We have to put that back into our family. We can't just take that to our friends and our loved ones and our coworkers and blah, 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 blah. We have to bring that back into the family because a lot of our family didn't have the opportunities that we have.
No, a lot of them didn't know any better either. And I remember having a conversation with my mom, well, even before then, I remember sitting there and kind of feeling angry that I wasn't taught certain things. But then I had to really sit back and self-reflect. And that's another issue that people really don't sit back and self-reflect and look at yourself and saying, okay, well, taking responsibility. And that's the thing we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Yes.
But realizing that how the hell was my mom supposed to teach me this and she didn't know it herself? She wasn't taught it herself. And I remember having a conversation with her and just like, I learned this, I learned that, putting it back into the family. And she was like, oh, I'm so appreciative of you telling me this or educating me on this. I wish I was able to teach you sooner. And I was like, well, yeah, I wish too, but you couldn't teach me anything that you didn't know yourself.
Exactly.
And that's one thing that we really have to recognize.
It's not our parents' fault that they didn't teach us certain things. And it's not their parents' fault because as Black people, and this is a very specific to the Black experience thing, as Black people, we were never given the opportunities to learn things that white people just are given. And as Black people, we have to remember that what has been passed down to us, a lot of it is oral tradition. A lot of it is just what they knew, what they heard, what they knew from just being them. And since we have the ability, since we have these computers in our pockets, in our hands, since we have, better opportunities with education, even though we still don't get the long end of the stick on that shit. Right. We can go, it's okay to go back to your parents and be like, look, this is the thing that I learned about paying taxes, or this is the thing that I learned about fucking our heritage. This is where we come from. This is, we are allowed as the children of a long line of forgotten about people to remind ourselves who we are. Exactly. And remind our families who we are.
Exactly. And when it comes to generational curses of finances, it's just learning how to, and it's an argument that's been ongoing on Black Twitter a lot. It's saying, how can people police the poor about not saving money when they're living paycheck to paycheck? And it is a hard task to do, but it all starts with financial literacy and wanting to put yourself in a higher position to earn more, opening the doors, and there's a lot of free training. There's a trend it's been happening in the last 3 or 4 years, where certain tech companies, they have boot camps. You don't necessarily have to have a degree. And tech is an industry that is predominantly white male, and we lack representation there. And so and this year I took the time out, even before COVID hit, to gain a certificate in user experience design, which is in the tech field. And I'm the type of person, like I said, I climb up the rung a little bit and I send it back down. I spread the information. There's free training. Yes.
To everybody.
I don't want to be the only one winning. I don't want to be the only one of my friends winning. Like, I want a community of us, the people who look like me, to not have to go through the struggles of our parents, and for us to be able to live comfortably.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That is another thing that we, as this generation, as Black people, need to continue to do is remember that there is room at the table for everybody.
Yes,
there is room
at
the table.
Motherfucking cookies and
in the cookie jar, bitch.
In the cookie jar, like it's enough crab legs and shrimp.
Oh, crab legs sounds so fucking good.
I learned how to do a shrimp boil.
Are we gonna have to have a live shrimp?
Listen,
a mukbang.
Throw down, okay.
But yeah, like there is enough wealth to go around, and it is you can capitalize on however much of it is you want, but you can still send it back into your community. You can still put it back into Black-owned businesses. You can still put it back into your parents' pockets. Listen, I'm gonna take care of my mama to the day I die. I don't give a fuck what nobody's saying.
Yeah, and you know what? It was one thing I was thinking about earlier. I was talking to my girlfriend, and I have a nail tech who's an Asian lady, and I'm very loyal to her. And I say that because I thought about it. I was like, damn, I'm really loyal to this Asian lady because she does my nails great. She's affordable, just awesome lady. Mm-hmm. But I was like, why can't we do this in our community? Why can't we be loyal to our brands, to our small businesses, to our communities? Because a lot of people leave the community, they assimilate into white culture, and they never look back.
Yeah.
And they become gatekeepers of that. They're just like, oh no, nobody else needs to be let in.
Right. Like, I'm not going to help you get to where I'm at, because if you get to where I'm at, then you're going to be my competition. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with healthy competition.
Yes.
But it's not competition, especially if we are in two different fields.
I don't want, when I get a job, and I say when, because you have to manifest things.
You speak in wins, not ifs in this house.
Yes. When I get a position in the UX field, and I see somebody young coming around, even not even young, because I'm a little bit seasoned. I got a little, seasoned salt and some garlic pepper and some onion pepper on me through the years. But if I see somebody who is a newbie and looking to break into the field, I definitely will reach my hand out, because I know how it feels to not have that support, to not really know what to do and how to do it, and basically to provide guidance. And that's all it has to be. Is you know something, somebody else doesn't know, but somebody might be interested in moving up and putting themselves in, like I said, in a higher position to earn more, so that they can dig themselves out of that generational curse of living paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
And it's not even just earning more, it's money management that people need to learn. And it's more than just stocks and bonds and CDs. And yes, that's important, and that's something I'm learning myself. But it's also saving your money.
Personal finance.
Personal finance.
It all starts on a personal level with finances, man.
Yes.
If you can't save your money, I'm talking to you, Darius. If you can't save your money, you will never have the money saved up. You just won't.
You won't. And I've gotten better at saving.
I have not. I'm just gonna be completely
It's okay,
honest.
and you're honest and you're aware of it. That's the thing. You have to be self-aware and hold yourself accountable.
And I'm actively working on it. I can't say that I have gotten better at saving money. My issue is when I have a stream of money coming in, spend it, girl.
Treat yourself is my problem.
Yep,
it's my problem. But I had got really good in the last 3 years before COVID. I had a really good paying job, putting money aside. I like to travel. I like to look good. Okay. Yep. I like to drink high-end whiskey.
Okay.
I like flowers.
We don't do low shelf. We do top shelf, honey.
Okay. I like flowers that you burn. That costs money. But you also have to make sure, I like to have a roof over my head. I like nice things in my house. So I knew that I just couldn't spend. I had to create a budget for myself so it doesn't get out of hand. And sometimes you just have to put that shiny thing back on the shelf and let it be.
And I'm very proud of myself. I have put so many shiny things back on the shelf this year. So many. Now, many of them made it into my cart and the checkout. But many
you
of them... No, girl, I did.
You did? Okay.
But many of them did go into my cart, and then I was like, you know what? I cannot afford this right now. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to listen. My favorite thing to do is what I've been tricking myself into lately is even if I have the money, I'm broke.
Yeah, and that's a mentality that I had to develop myself. It's like, I'm broke. Even though I wasn't, I'm broke.
I'm working on it hard. It's doing wonders.
It's hard. It's hard to be like, okay, I can afford these things. Let me go out and get a motherfucking Benz. Let me go out and get a motherfucking Jeep. Let me go out and get this big ass Bose speaker. But at the end of the day, if you're just like, oh, I can afford it, I'm gonna go do it. Then you're gonna be like, where all my money at?
Right. I can't afford it now. Why did I do it?
Like, oh shit. And that's one thing you have to budget. You have to manage your money so that you can keep your money. Like we've learned so many times, even in the music industry, so many people have had millions of dollars and they just like now they're broke. Yeah. Because they would just give it away, spending on stupid shit.
17 cars. What you need 17 cars for?
No.
Are you gonna drive?
Always try to pay your future self, and that's when my baby brother graduated high school this year. I know. I mean, I was literally there when he was born.
Yeah, my niece is turning 20 next Tuesday.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. Where has the time gone? You just like, I blinked and 12 years have passed. Like,
I can say that I have been on this earth for almost 3 decades.
Jesus, look. Speaking, just a little sidebar. It was hilarious to me. I sent you this video on Instagram.
Oh, yes.
Me and Darius did this thing. Like most friends probably do, just a barrage of we don't even be having a conversation sometimes. We just send each other this video. And it was this video of this lady at her 94th birthday. Everybody's singing, happy birthday, everything. She's just looking like all melancholy, like just... I don't care. And they said, he's just singing. She's like, yeah, like, happy 94th birthday. She's like, I hope it's my last. And I just was like, what? And nobody said anything. It's like nobody heard her.
Everybody was like, damn, grandma.
Damn. She's like, I hope it's my last. It was just a little funny thing.
Look, I fucking relatable, man. Like, if I'm that old, listen... Everybody wants a long life. Everybody wants to live a long time. I would love to have a long, successful career.
There are vampires out there. Come bite me. I don't want to die.
Take me the fuck up out of here, man. Like,
let me be a rich, fat, fly, fabulous 300-year-old vampire, okay?
300? That's too much.
I want to see, let me experience shit. Let me see how the world changed.
I don't want to know.
I want to. I mean, I'm curious.
I don't want to know.
I would, and this is the thing. Somebody made a quote, or I was watching something, and they were like, basically, you're dead longer than you're alive. And I was like, damn, that is real fucked up, but true.
I believe more deeply in reincarnation than anything. And so I'm like, okay, this life is cool. Depression is something I could have left in a past life. But, this life is cool. I'm happy. Yeah. I'm in love. I am growing financially, spiritually, yes. And, I am becoming an affluent person. And by the time I'm old and ready to clock the fuck up out this bitch, clock me out, go on and send me into my next life.
I respect that.
Like, I want to experience the world through the many eyes that I will see it through. Yeah. And that is me being real philosophical and spiritual, but I've been watching a lot of things about reincarnation lately, so it just is kind of fresh in my head, and I'm like, you know what? Next life. You can tell when somebody is on their first life too. It's like, ooh, you fresh, huh?
I have an old soul. Like as playful and goofy as hell as I am, I have an old soul, and I feel like I have been here before. But like I said, the vampires out here, come bite me. And whatever, help me transition. That's okay.
I'm good.
I want to live.
I'm good. I
can live 300 years and be 4 different people.
Listen, when I eventually kick the bucket and you have been bitten by a vampire and you're 300 years old, we will meet each other many times. I'm like, girl, I know you in the past life.
Same face, ho. What's good?
Same Darius, new face. Okay, But there we go, jumping off the topic again.
Always.
But also to kind of track back to generational curses and the generational curses that are not financial. Mm-hmm. Addiction runs very deeply in both sides of my family.
Yeah.
And it's such a hard thing because, yes, honestly, personally, drugs are not enticing to me at all. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just not something. I see what it has done to my family, and that's how I'm breaking that generational curse. You know what I mean? But it's also having that understanding that not everything is going to end up with you at the crack house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can drink everything in moderation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can drink. I can go out and get fucking hammered if I want to once a month. Like, that's it.
We used to do that shit every weekend.
Oh, I remember. And like, I don't do any drugs. I don't smoke weed or anything like that. But like,
weed is not a drug. But anyway, go ahead.
When eventually Darius puffs on the reefer,
when he has his medical card to do so.
I'm depressed. I need this for my depression and anxiety. Thank you. But like, I don't see anything wrong. I don't see any negatives about certain drugs. Mm-hmm. Other drugs, absolutely. But as, you know, a person who on both sides of my family has a spirit of addiction, as we call it in the church.
Spirit of addiction.
The spirit of addiction. It scares me to think about possibly becoming addicted to something. And that's how I just can't.
You know, I grew up around my maternal side of my family.
Me too.
And I really can't speak on my paternal side, but we've had some people that were had some alcoholism and some drugs, and I did see how it affected them, and decided that lifestyle is for me. Mm-hmm. And I already have an addictive personality. Like, if I'm watching something on Netflix, I have to. Like, I can't watch multiple things. I have to commit. Maybe one or two shows I can, because if I get tired of one, then, you know, whatever. But for the most part, I'm committing to one thing for the long run. And I know that it wouldn't be healthy for me to try to dive into the hard drugs and stuff.
No. When I was in art school, there's this artist, and I forget their name at this point, who took one of every drug, heroin, PCP, meth, like every drug you can think of imaginable, and drew a self-portrait. And that interests me. But the part of my brain that's like, bitch, you're going to do it once and be addicted.
That's just the
is
thing.
Like,
yeah. And you know what, from an artistic standpoint, I know a lot of artists who do that. To see how their reality is or their perception is.
It was so beautiful. I'm gonna have to look it up.
I'm interested in looking into that.
Everyone was so different. One was like super detailed. One was just fucking lines. Like, that made no coherent sense. I was like, this is fucking.
He probably was
amazing.
like, I'm gonna fuck him up with this one right here.
Yeah, it was.
No.
It was quite interesting.
Yeah, I would like to see. And when I say I'm interested, I'm not interested in popping, heroin, popping needle in my arm.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I'm interested in seeing his process. Their
process. I will show you that because I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, so teaching. Oh yeah, I said all that to say teaching our kids about drugs. Or as early as possible. I know a lot of parents like to kind of hide that stuff away from their kids because they think that is what's going to make them not do it if they don't know it exists, but it's everywhere in the media.
Listen.
All the music they listen to.
Kids aren't stupid.
No.
Actually, the younger you are, the more curious you are, the more... It was a study done a couple years ago, and I'll probably try to look and research it and post it on our social media. But basically, the younger you are, the younger kids are performing on a genius level. Mm-hmm. They're curious. They want to know how things work. Mm-hmm. They haven't been molded into cattle.
Yeah.
And when I say cattle, it's like, I'm going to work, I'm going home, the most, like the routine. And they're not stupid. We have to allow children, first of all, the perimeter of respect, but we also have to respect their individuality. And that was something that I really wasn't afforded when I was a child. And that's another thing about generational curses, really putting a lock and hold in sheltering your child and not being able to, them when they go out into the world, not knowing a lot of things.
And I can speak to the opposite of that because my mom let me do whatever the fuck I wanted to.
Yeah. My upbringing, like, my grandma had a hold in raising me, and she was a chief apostle in the church, which is very high ranking. And, my mother, on the other hand, because she experienced that, was a little bit lenient on that aspect. But still, still had, you are, for the most part, people are molded, and as much as you try to get away from certain things, it's still in you a tad bit.
Yeah, I find myself still, growing up in the church as well, still being like, whenever I go down on my boyfriend, sometimes I'm like, is this a sin? Am I gonna go to hell for swallowing these babies or what?
Yeah, and
then I start doing it, and I'm like, what sin?
Just down the cross like, whoa. But no, and then that's the one thing that was popular in the last couple of weeks or last month on Twitter was tweet like Twitter was around during the Bible days.
Yikes. And how did I miss that?
I wanted to participate, but then I was like,
is this blasphemy?
This is blasphemy. This is the one sin that God's not going to forgive. Yes. So let me shut my damn mouth.
I will sit back and observe.
I will observe and laugh and ask for forgiveness at the same damn time. But it's like as far removed as, and not saying that I still have a relationship with God, but as far as removed as from the man-made religion.
Man-made religion is bullshit.
Yeah, I still have that in me, that sprinkle of, I'm not going to do that because that's blasphemous.
Yeah, see, I do too.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how fucked up you get. And that sounds controversial at Brave, but it is the truth.
Yeah.
How much religion sticks to you. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
And that's a big rabbit hole to go. That's a long, deep one to go in. But back to my point to kind of bring it home is allow your children within reason. Like, don't have them watching porn at 5 years old.
Oh, that's when I first saw porn.
I did too, but it was on accident.
My brother showed me.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. No. But, like, teach them early about sex and teach them that sex is a natural thing and not something to shy away from. Teach them how to be safe and teach them how to be their self, allow them to be their self.
Teach them to embrace their natural curiosity.
Exactly.
Because kids are more emotionally intelligent than adults will ever be. And if we can, this next crop of children that are coming up, if we can catch them while they're young and keep that emotional intelligence, God, this world would be so much different if we all just were as emotionally intelligent as a child. Yeah,
and it's a whole like, oh my God, stay in a child's place thing. Okay, I get it to a certain extent, but if a child's asking you about something and and I think half the time people just didn't have the answer themselves and it was being assholes. But it just puts you in a box and it's just like, and sometimes that can carry on into your adulthood.
Yeah,
it's like that. It snuffs your curiosity. It's like, oh, I should ask these questions, or I should ask more questions because it's not my place to.
Or it makes you curious in the opposite way, where you go out and you're like, "Mommy, what's heroin?" You don't need to know what that is, and then all of a sudden,
you got a needle.
You got a needle in your arm. Yeah, like that. It has an adverse effect either way, but.
And then realizing that if you have multiple children, that they're all different and they need different things. And I mean, yes, there's a certain what's the word I'm looking for?
Standard or like baseline?
Yeah, standard, a baseline of raising your child within the parameters that you want to, but still understand that they are individuals.
Yeah, and you might have to bend that for my mom. Listen, my mom was and still is the most incredible mother because she really truly allowed us to be who we were. My mom never questioned the fact that I wanted to dance around and sing and always be up and entertaining, and and even up until when I came out, it was never a question.
Yeah.
But my brothers are super masculine, and they play sports. They did, and it wasn't. She didn't force that upon me. Yeah. She laughed at me when I told her I was going to run track.
Damn.
We just talked about that the other day. Yeah.
You have to let your kids be, and I understand that some people didn't experience certain things, so they want their kids to. But then it's the pressure of trying to please everybody, and that's and I always talk about that's the oldest child plight. Wanting to please because you're the first kid to get to be a kid. So yeah, they want to shelter you. They want you to be afforded the things that they didn't want, but sometimes they try to push their wants and what they wanted to how they wanted to live their life as a kid onto you. And then you kind of have this complex of always wanting to try to please somebody, and in the long run, and that's another generational curse we need to break. Just allow, and that's one thing I had a conversation with my mom and my sister. I have a nephew. He'll be 2 in March. Woo, time has flown by.
Flying.
And I talk to him on FaceTime regularly. Baby talk, whatever. And he knows me. He knows this, and he calls me, refers to me as T.O., whatever, TT, whatnot. But when I came and visited in June, around the time my brother was graduating, I noticed that he was like, oh shit, like she's here in person. And he kind of was nervous about it. And me being the perceptive person that I am, recognized this and didn't force myself I'm gonna pick you up and you're gonna give me a hug, you're gonna give me a kiss. Right. I gave him time to get comfortable with me being there in the flesh. Yes. And to warm up to me. And once he did, he was all over his auntie. Yeah. He was. And that's the one thing we have to respect, boundaries.
Honestly, that's the same situation I'm having with my niece right now. She's 4. She fucking loves me. Yeah. But she had to warm up to me because mom is not yelling at her. But if she's doing something wrong, uncle was going to be like, put it down. Yeah. And I got the bassy uncle voice.
We got the... Listen.
So she was a little scared of me because, whatever. Yeah. It was the same thing with my grandpa. A lot of the kids are scared of my grandpa. My grandpa's voice is deep.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, my grandpa has a deep voice. He used to play the devil in all the church plays. It was great. That might have been what inspired me to want to be an actor.
I was going to say, is that what? Yeah.
Wait a minute. I just had a real life epiphany. That is truly what inspired me to want to be an actor because my grandpa was in all the church plays. See? And he was fantastic.
And that's a great generational pass down. Right?
Yes.
On the flip
Word.
Side. Yes.
Go ahead, Grandpa. Hey, some more snaps for you, Grandpa. But yeah, so a lot of these children, don't force them to, give so-and-so a hug. Don't force them to sit on so-and-so lap. Don't force them to do,
and then that kind of opens the door for a lot of bad things to happen. I'm not saying that's always going to happen. It's going to open the door, make them think that, somebody forcing themselves in my bubble is okay. Yeah. And that opens the door for molestation and the whole what happens in my house stays in my house. They're not going to say anything about it. So respect boundaries. Yeah. Respect boundaries. It doesn't matter if they're 2, they're 1, they're 5, they're 14, they're 38. Respect boundaries.
Kids know. If they don't want you in their space, they don't want you in their space.
And respect that. Respect that. Yep. So yeah.
Man, this episode is deep.
Deep.
I didn't realize we were going to get this deep.
You know what? Sometimes we deep, sometimes we crazy.
Let's get a little crazy. Let's throw in some color. What you got for us today, Sheesh?
Oh, man. So, I'll be on Twitter heavy.
I'm trying to get my Twitter game up to Sheesh level.
Listen. So, this week, JT from the City Girls. I'm not going to talk to you, Darius, because,
Okay.
you on the other side of blackness on this, okay?
Okay.
JT was released from jail this year, last year, within that time.
I forgot she was in jail.
Yeah, she was in jail for fraud, and it was a conversation that was going on along whether or not she's a pretty woman. I think she's a beautiful woman. However, somebody went diving into her old tweets, and lo and behold, what did they find? A lot of problematic shit.
Yep.
Some of the shit I thought was funny. Like she said, if you enter somebody, blow up their DMs, and then quoted Osama bin Laden. Like it was I thought that was funny. I mean, it could be a little insensitive, but then it turned real dark real quick. It was another tweet that said she wanted R. Kelly to rape her. So she got dragged heavily, far, beat the hell up on Twitter to the point where she deleted her account. But my question, I just need to pose, like, who are their PR agents? Who isn't going, why aren't somebody going through their tweets and being like, okay, you are a public person. And this is just, I understand letting people be who they are, but this is just out of control.
Now listen, were they famous at this point?
This was 2018, 2017.
Oh yeah, it's only 2020.
It's only 2020.
That was not that long ago.
It's
okay. Because I was going to say, if this is pre-fame, somebody need to get their ass beat for digging through tweets from before they were famous. Like, fuck off. You got me fucked up if you finna dig up some tweets trying to cancel me about some shit that I tweeted back in 2010. Yeah. No, bitch. I'm not the same bitch.
And I probably, in my old Twitter account, had probably said some off-color things, some really offensive things, but I know better now. And I think we talked about this in the past episode.
People being allowed to grow. People being
allowed to redeem themselves and changing their opinion based off new information.
Yeah.
And things that you learn. But I mean, that wasn't that. I'm not
That's
saying
not long enough ago for that to be.
It's not. It's not. So my advice to people: be careful what you tweet, because it will bite you in the ass, and then it don't matter if you delete shit. People screenshot shit, and that shit will not go away. Never go away. On top of that, Cardi B was also dragged. They just like getting on Cardi B head. They love getting on Cardi B head.
I don't understand why people have so much hatred towards Cardi B.
They hate on her. I love Cardi B.
This one, I actually am aware of what happened, because I stand the fuck out of Cardi B for real.
So she was dragged on Twitter. Not necessarily dragged, but they probably tried to give her a little pat on the hand, a little slap on the hand. She was tweeting about buying an $88,000 purse. And somebody said, oh, well, that's insensitive to tweet about in a pandemic. But it's just like, when you sit down and you break it down, right? Cardi B gives a lot back to the community.
Yep.
And even if she didn't, what does that have to do with anything? This is her money.
You cannot
that
police
she
her
earned.
money.
You can't police how she spends her money. You shouldn't police. And that's the thing that I think our culture, we grow up with the internet, and a lot of people put their business on the internet and their lives on the internet, but we've become so obsessed with it and nitpicky. And it's just, at that point, it's just like, come the fuck on.
And we think we can tell people what to do. Like, we have so much investment in celebrities' lives. Sorry, I have a mouthful of biscuit. We have so much investment in celebrity lives that we don't invest enough time in our own lives.
Our own lives, our own business.
And people are always parading around and trying to be what they aren't on social media. Mind your motherfucking business, bitch. Yeah. Cardi B is being who the fuck she want to be. If she want to buy an $88,000 purse, let her do it.
The purse is ugly as shit, but I mean,
ugly
that's none of my business.
Fuck.
It ain't my money.
It's not my money. It's not my purse.
I'm a mind a business that pays me, and Cardi B's business do not pay me.
But Cardi B, if you would like to pay me, I'm good at many things. Take a pick.
That leaves the door wide the fuck open.
Wide the fuck open.
A whole bunch of interpretation.
Wide the fuck open.
Also, there's been some violence in the music industry.
Oh boy.
This is low-key singer. She's from Chicago. Her name's Anne Marie. She allegedly this is a story that's circulating on Twitter. I really didn't have a chance to fact check it.
Okay.
She allegedly shot her boyfriend in the head because she found out he was cheating.
Oh.
Well, when I did, and I'm gonna go a little further into that.
If y'all could have seen the face I just made.
In the face he just but this is the thing, and there was an argument on Twitter because earlier this year, Tory Lanez allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly because don't come after me and sue me because all you're gonna get is a jar of pickles. At this point, he shot Megan Thee Stallion, and a lot of people jumped on his head, me included. I deleted a lot of his music out of my playlist. I don't give a shit how good of an artist he is, and I don't give a shit about people's argument about separating the artist from the music because that is your music. That's an extension of yourself.
Yep, there's no way to do that for me.
So the same argument is, I don't condone it. I understand being in a relationship with somebody and feeling betrayed and a crime. It sounds like a crime of passion. Yeah. But it's just like I don't condone it. I don't condone busting the cap unless he was trying to choke her out or something. She was in self-defense. They're all for it.
Right. If there was some violence being done toward her, of course, light him the fuck up. Yeah. But I also cannot condone shooting somebody in the head for cheating. However,
yeah, and he's still in critical condition, so hopefully he comes through.
Hopefully he makes it.
And if that is the case, hopefully he learns his lesson.
I'm sure he will.
But I mean, if that's not the case, if that was a totally fabricated situational story, and something else happened, I hope that if she is innocent and if there was an accident or whatever, then she's fine. But anyway, still talking about the police. Oh. You don't know this person either, probably. Another Chicago artist, G Herbo. Nope. Was indicted by the FBI on fraud charges. Apparently,
I think I did hear this story.
You heard the story? He was a part of this ring. Long story short,
they were
private jets.
Yes, I did hear about this. Oh my god, I read about yes. I did know about this one.
Crazy because his baby mama Ari. Is that Ari?
Ari Lennox?
No, not Ari Lennox.
Oh, I was like
Ari. She's with Moneybagg Yo.
Okay.
He's a.
I know who Moneybagg Yo.
Okay, I was going to say there. You see, you just really losing it with.
I know who Moneybagg Yo is. I've never listened to his music, but I've heard his name before.
He's whatever. I like Moneybagg. I used to say Yo Moneybagg, but it's Moneybagg Yo. His baby mama, G Herbo's baby mama, G Herbo, sorry, it's not pronounced correctly. G Herbo's baby mama, Ari, is with Moneybagg Yo. But she is a federal witness. So basically, Moneybagg Yo sleeping with a snitch.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, but G Herbo has pled not guilty to the charges, so.
Sir, listen, this is another generational curse we need to break. If you did the crime, if you did the crime, do the time. Do the time.
If the glove don't fit, you must quit.
That motherfucking glove fit. I guarantee you that bitch is snug tight up on there.
We don't know.
We don't know, but come on now.
We don't know. Also, in entertainment news, they're supposed to be doing a True Blood reboot.
Yeah, I heard about that.
At first, I was like, "What? They're gonna redo it?" But it's basically supposed to be a continuation, and some of the characters are supposed to come back. If this are, I just don't want them to replace Lafayette.
Yeah, that. I never watched the show. I couldn't really get into it. I tried very hard to get into it, and it just was not my gig. But that one scene that I did watch, the one that is the most infamous scene in the whole series, where Lafayette goes off on those guys because he's gay and whatever, blah blah blah. That scene is iconic. It's fantastic.
Please do not replace Nelson Ellis.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I really don't think there's anybody that can play that part.
Put his foot in that motherfucking role. He was the most flamboyant, masculine queer person character I've ever come across. And I loved it. Loved every bit of it. I love True Blood. I like the supernatural stuff. I like the whole witches.
I do too. Vampires just don't do it for me.
Vampires, I love vampires. Gonna bite me.
Vampires have never done it for me. It's never been that's never been my game.
Yeah, witches and vampires.
But
and
witches.
Werewolves.
Yeah, I love some witchy shit now.
Yeah. According to one of my great aunts, we're descended of some witches. I don't know what kind of witches, but it's probably something I should dive into. Learn about. Yeah.
Also in entertainment news, talking about reboots, they're doing another continuation of iCarly.
Why?
I don't know. White people ain't doing enough stuff.
And they were supposed to be bringing True Jackson back.
True Jackson VP?
Yeah.
Oh, I fucks with that.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I fucks with that.
I don't know.
I love Keke Palmer.
Been kind of weird in the media.
Yeah, I know she said some weird stuff, but I stand Keke Palmer.
Yeah.
You know what? If people need food stamps, let them people get their food stamps. Okay.
Let them people get their food stamps. Shit. My goodness. But in other news, like to keep you abreast of what's going on, right now, the House of Representatives passed a COVID relief bill, which is now being mulled over in the Senate, and they're dragging their feet.
Of course.
And y'all, listen, people are getting evicted. People, and the current unemployment assistance for displaced workers is supposed to end on the 26th of December, which is this month, which is in a couple of weeks. What the hell are these people supposed to do?
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, it's supposed to end.
The PECU?
Mm-hmm.
I thought they extended it.
No, it has to pass Senate. It has to pass another step. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and right now the Democrats, from what I've read, are trying to prevent being put in the bill, basically a cushion for businesses not to be liable for people that contracted COVID because of the condition. So,
because of having to go back to work when the virus was still active and still going around.
Yeah, and
that and Republicans are trying to pass it without putting another stimulus check, direct payment into the bill.
It needs to happen. People need relief now, and it's not because of the holidays. People are like, really at this point, fuck Christmas. If I can't do it, I'm not going to try to bend over backwards and do it.
Listen,
people need to live. People there was at the beginning of COVID, Amber wasn't cutting off people's stuff.
There was a moratorium on rent and everything like that.
Yeah, but they're not. They're cutting people's light bills off. People's cars are getting repossessed. People are getting evicted. What are these people supposed to do? Like y'all living comfortably, and
they think. And the crazy thing about it is that so many people went back to work. They don't need the assistance. Listen, most people went back to work and were not working regular hours.
And a lot of people went back to work not making the same amount of money that they were pre-COVID.
Nearly the same amount of money. Myself included.
Yes.
I had two choices. I could have stayed on fucking unemployment or I could have went back to work. And then they were like, if you have the option to go back to work, you can't draw unemployment. So I have to go back to work. Yeah. So really, I only had one option.
Yeah. And if you're uncomfortable with the circumstances at work and you want to quit, they'll take your unemployment away.
Yeah.
If you're trying to protect yourself, it's at this point, it's disgusting.
Literally, the unemployment website says fear of contracting COVID-19 is not a valid reason to not go to work. You got me fucked up. People are dying.
Over 250,000 people in the U.S. have died.
20 plus people a day in St. Louis alone are dying from COVID-19.
And currently, Missouri is, I think, number 5 now in cases.
And punk ass Mike Parson. I don't know if you've seen me tweeting Mike Parson. I tried to put out a tweet as often as I can. I came across an article where they were like, this motherfucker is still refusing to put a mask mandate on the entire state.
It needs to happen.
The cases are not going to go down. The numbers are not going to go down. They are now using parts of Children's Hospital as emergency for people with COVID-19.
A lot of people who have heart conditions are in the hospital for different reasons, not COVID related, are having to be airlifted to other places.
Like,
that's how bad it is.
It's terrible. It's horrible. And now the vaccine is coming out, and they've already started giving it to people, and I'm curious to see what happens.
And then they also try to put out, and it really pissed me off, offering people, and I don't know if this is a thing that's actually going to happen, but trying to get a filler of, we'll give you $1,500 if you take this vaccine. And who is that targeted? It's targeting people who need the money, and that's a lot of marginalized minority people.
Yeah, and you better believe I need the money, but am I going to get a vaccine for $1,500? Absolutely not.
I'm going to let everybody else get it and see if they turn into zombies. And, whatever. Yeah.
I don't know. This year is crazy. I'm ready for 2021.
Listen, 2021, don't come in on January 1st at 2021 at 12 o'clock acting a fool, please.
Calm down,
please. We've been through enough. We can't take no more.
We really, truly cannot take any more.
We can't take no more.
At this point, it's either clock us all the fuck up out of here or fix it.
Fix it.
Please fix it, because we got a long way to go.
Galactic Federation, if you listening, and then y'all got a better life on y'all planet, and y'all actually care about people, come get me.
If y'all have free rights for all, I know I might not look like y'all, but I'm willing to assimilate to your culture if you are better than this punk ass shit.
Listen, come swoop me and my family. We ain't gonna tell nobody, okay?
Have you seen that video? I think it's Trey Melvin where he's like, "Yeah, I went by Earth to swoop some people up, and wasn't nobody on the streets. And they like to be out on the streets driving their cars and shit." And I saw people in masks and coughing. They got something called COVID-19.
I think I saw that.
Oh my God, that shit cracks me up every single time I see it.
Oh my God.
Earth is so nasty.
It's ghetto.
It's like fucking Steven Universe.
We are literally the Florida of the planets. Like, if there are other intelligent life forms out here, they probably looking at us like, these motherfuckers be talking about Florida, but look at all the stupid shit they going on.
They all Florida.
They all motherfucking Florida.
Wow, attacked.
Like, seriously.
As a resident of Earth, I would like to go.
Listen, please.
Have we established the living space on Mars yet? Is it ready? Send me.
But you know what? It's a show I've been watching on Netflix. It's called Altered Carbon, and Netflix sponsor us or whatever, because I'm shouting y'all out
a lot in this episode.
And it really, the gist of it, and I'm trying to give you a synopsis without ruining it in case anybody wants to listen. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear about it,
skip to the end. This is the end anyway.
Yeah. But basically, this lady found a formula of how to live eternal life. But, of course, the rich people took it and exploited it and became people in positions of power for eternity. I fear that it would be the same way if people start moving to Mars. Like, the rich just only be the only people that live there.
Bye. Good fucking bye.
But then they're going to stop caring about us down here on Earth and
we
shit.
can figure our own shit the fuck out.
Listen,
bitch, if you take the top 99%, let whatever money they have in their pockets right now, whatever coins they got in their checking account, take that shit, send it to Mars, let them establish their shit on Mars, figure it the fuck out. We can go ahead and establish our free health care, bitch, our free motherfucking school, bitch. Like, bye.
Oh my goodness.
Bye.
And a couple more things before we end the episode. Red Table Talk this week. Miss Adrian, Jada Pinkett Smith's mother, had a permanent look of disdain on her face, and I felt her.
Oh yeah, because she was like, who were they talking to this week?
They were talking to, oh my goodness. Let me look it up. Basically, I can't think of the daughter's name, but the college scandal.
Yes, Lori Loughlin's daughter.
Yes,
that's what we're talking about. Yeah, my mom was telling me about it. Yes. So
she came on. She reached out to Red Table Talk, and Miss Adrian. I say Miss Adrian because I have been. She's my elder. And that's a good thing that was passed on.
Manners.
Yeah. But she was literally like, why? And it's something that we have to work on, and it's something that's plagued, it's been a generational curse for all people passed down. Wanting black women to be in your corner to help you fight. But when the shoe is on the other foot, not reaching out and doing the damn same thing. That was the gist of what she said. We motherfucking tired.
Yes.
We motherfucking tired. She said at the end of the day, people are going to forget about it. You already in a position of power. You already come from money. Your parents are going to do their 60 days in jail, pay their fine, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
That is your privilege of being a white woman that comes from money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something we need to talk about. We're going to talk about this in the next couple of episodes. We're probably going to have to bring some guests on. But
I wish we knew some white women with money.
Well, we know one or two.
Do we?
Yeah. We don't name names.
No, we can name names once the episode.
Once the episode. Yeah. But yeah, it's. I felt her, and that was one thing that I really wanted to talk about or just touch on this episode. So hit us up on social media, on Twitter, Urban Proper Pod, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about how you feel about Ms. Adrian's stance on that, and let's talk also about what generational curses have you overcame or actively are working to overcome.
Yeah, we want to hear as much from you all as you want to give us. So if you want to talk about, things in your family that have been traumatic, that's generational curses, man. Like all that shit ties in together. Yeah. So hit us up on our Instagram, which is at Urban Proper Podcast, or our Facebook, which is also Urban Proper Podcast.
Yeah, and don't forget that we're on all streaming platforms now. We finally got onto iTunes.
Finally on iTunes. Apple Podcasts. It's a different app, remember?
Oh, yes. Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
We're on Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean is like our little hub of where all those things are linked to. So you can find us there. Yeah.
Until next time, y'all.
We will talk to you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.